I was so used to things going left fast that I wouldn't want to focus too much on one thing, you know? I want to make sure that I can get it in no matter what. I feel like in order to prosper in anything, you have to work on you. I didn't have my barber license, man. You know, I've been a barber for it'll be 5 years in February. I didn't get my license till about 2 years ago, right? I look at you and Ivan as a father figure, you know, because I didn't grow up with that.
So whenever I was on the run, you know how you were running with us when we were at the zoo. Um, like you know how you get some clarity when
Yeah.
you're running, when you're tired or whenever.
Mhm.
A lot of that shit happened to me when I was on that run, bro.
When did you get your like second burst of wind?
Mile four.
Mile four.
Mile four. I was start. It was a little tough getting to mile four, and then when I got to mile four, I was ready to go. But that's when Angelo started dying on me, bro, and I had to step back a little bit. It was either continue the race, or just sit back and help Angelo get through the race. So that's what I did.
And Angelo's what? How
12.
old? 12. 10 miles at 12.
10 miles at 12 is crazy.
Crazy, crazy.
Nobody's doing that.
And then he had practice the day before,
He
didn't
had
he?
wrestling practice.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And then he had wrestling practice yesterday. He was a little sore, he said, but he was able to get through it. But I was going to tell you, bro, so today you hit 100K.
100K, bro.
How did it feel when you first saw the 100K?
You know, to be so honest with you, I don't know. The numbers don't faze me. When I hit 100K, it was just natural. I don't know. It's just, I try not to even focus on the numbers, you know? I try not to really focus on the numbers or just any of that, to be honest.
Yeah. Because I had a missed call from you, and I called you back. I'm like, he probably called me to tell me he hit 100K.
No, I was calling you to tell you the Wi-Fi is jumping. That's why I was calling you.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Nah, bro, it's crazy because for those people listening, man, this is another barber. This is the third barber that I have on here from Primetime. You know, and to me, it's so crazy because like people are just blowing up on social media. You know, you said 100K is not much, bro. 100K is more than 1,000.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
for
because
sure.
because I would say a year ago you were like at 2,000 or something. I think something like that. You know what I mean? And so 100K is a lot because it was a lot of hard work that took to get into that.
1,000%.
To get into that mode. You know what I mean? You, Cedra, Ivan from the North Shop, putting in a really good example for everybody there. You know what I mean? It's not as easy as it looks. You know what I'm saying? You're talking like it's like, man, it was kind of smooth, man.
Nah, it was. But I can definitely agree it's not as easy as it looks. But what I can say is it paid off, man.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I think so. Let me reiterate on the 100K. When I hit the 100K, it's still surreal because I feel like I got a long ways to go, but I've already came a long way.
Yeah.
You know, I made a post on Facebook the other day saying like, you know, if everything was to end right here, I've already won because I've done things that I've never even done before, you know?
Yeah.
Getting on camera, getting in front of the, you know, millions of people. Like who would have known? Like, I don't know. Like this whole thing about life is crazy. Even to this day. Pulling up to the shop still to this day is so surreal to me.
Yeah.
You know? Talking to people, being able to have conversations on a day-to-day and just live out what I always knew I could.
Yeah.
I just didn't know how it was going to come about.
Yeah.
Or when it was going to come about.
Yeah.
You
and
know?
I feel like it happened fast for you. I mean, it might not seem to you.
Yeah.
But like compared to a lot of other barbers in the game who's been doing this for a long time, I feel like it happened pretty fast to you. Something happened where you locked in 1 year, everything changed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And that's not by luck, bro. That was a lot of hard work that happened. You know, something had to happen to you for you to, you know what? I'm about to turn it up a notch. And would you say, and we're gonna go into your story, but I kind of want to ask this question.
Yeah.
Would you say being next to Ivan helped you out a lot?
1,000%. See, that's what I was just about to say is I think what made me lock in is seeing how the stations are set up. Me and Ivan are in the corner, so we're really kind of away from everybody. So whenever I saw Ivan consistently every day coming in, telling me about the podcast, telling me about books, sitting down and writing out his notes, writing down his numbers, I'm seeing that every day, and I'm not doing that. You know, I'm just kind of going with the flow. But seeing him next to me every day, it really did turn it up because, you know, humbly, I don't look at people as you know, these crazy figures. I look at them as who they are, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so with that being said, I just thought like if he could do it, I could do it.
Yeah.
Like there's no difference.
Yeah.
Because the one thing that helps anybody flourish, to me, in my opinion, is to be yourself. You know?
Facts.
I don't know how to be Ivan, but I can just be me, make my jokes, make my
Mm-hmm.
videos, and just throw it up.
But I feel like even just being yourself sometimes is hard. Because
1000%.
I feel like you had to figure out who you were. You know what I'm saying? You had to figure out when you really dig deep, bro, you really had to figure out like, damn, who is Alec?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how is he on camera? Like, damn, he looks weird on camera, but that's me.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, the things that are coming out of my mouth, like my little slang, the way I talk, bro, that's me.
Right.
You get what I'm
Right.
saying? You had to accept that. And that's part of like accepting who you are and moving forward and figuring that shit out. You know what I mean?
1000%.
And I saw that happen to you. I saw that happen to Ivan. I see that happening to Cedra. I see that happen to a lot of people in the city. You know what I mean? So I know the guys who are listening right now, a lot of them are young barbers. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they're probably like, man, Alec has been doing this for a long time, been getting money a long time. This shit was easy for him.
Yeah.
And this, and that. Bro, that's not the truth. And I have a couple questions because there's a couple things I don't know about you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So where are you really from?
I'm from Dallas, Texas, man. I'm from Dallas, Texas. I was born in Dallas. I was raised in Arlington.
Okay.
But honestly, man, growing up, I tell people that because that's the easiest way to break it down.
Yeah.
But growing up, I moved from house to house a lot. Not necessarily with different people, but just my mom. She's a single mother of 4. You know what I mean? And I was the oldest. So we moved around a lot. Until I moved here to Kansas when I was about 16, I never been out of school for like more than a year. You know, so I'm just constantly moving around. But it was all around, you know, Texas. I mean, down there by Arlington, Dallas, Fort Worth, Plano, Garland, really everywhere. You know, but yeah.
So that's where you grew up, and then can you tell us how you landed here in Kansas in Wichita?
I got bamboozled, man. I got bamboozled. We came up here for Christmas when I was 16, and we were visiting my grandma. And then I woke up the next morning, and my mom wasn't here. And that's not normal for my mom. My mom wakes up, she gets her coffee, she sits in the bed, she reads her book. So I go in there to see, and, you know, I'm not even thinking we're moving to Kansas. That's the last thought on my mind, right? So I go down there, and I go up there to see, and she's not there. So I ask my grandma, you know, where's my mom? And she tells me she's on the way back with y'all stuff from Texas. And then that's when everything changed.
Shit, what made her, why do you think that happened like that?
You know, sometimes in life, you got to spread your wings, man. And sometimes you got to get out of certain areas of life, you know? Like I said, my mom was a single mother of 4, man, and it's not easy. You know, she got 3 boys and 1 girl. Growing up, and we all got different dads, you know? So it just wasn't easy. I felt like she had the weight of the world on her shoulders, you know, 9 times out of 10. So I think moving up here was a fresh start for her. Everything slowed down. It's a lot cheaper. And then really, and I think for us, for the kids as well, you know, having 4 kids, so I'm 22. No, I'm 23, 18, 16, and 7. So 16, 18, and 23, we're ready to explore. It's a lot easier to maintain everybody here in a little town like this than it is something
Dallas,
big out
big
there.
city.
So I really think she was thinking long term and what's best for the kids.
She made a good decision, bro. This is a good place to raise kids.
Yeah,
you know what
100%.
I mean? But let me ask you this. So now you guys are here. You're 16. You moved to Wichita, bro. What was your lifestyle like at that time?
Man.
You know, growing up, because right now, how old are you?
I'm 23.
16 is not that far away from 23.
No, it's
like,
not.
what was your lifestyle like growing up, bro? From 16 to, you know, not where you are now, but leading up to this.
I mean, it was simple, bro. It was nothing crazy, you know. Go to school, come home, really just be the role model at the house, you know.
Yeah.
Mom was still working a lot, so I was really just like dad of the house, you know, taking care of all that. And I don't know, man. I was always focused on trying to get some money though.
Yeah.
You know, growing up, I was always focused on getting money because I used to think money would solve all the problems that we had at the house, you know. So I was always focused on that. I was always, you know, doing Shopify or flipping things on Facebook Market, and cause I'd have to buy my own clothes, you know. My mom would help. Don't get me wrong, my mom would help as much as she could.
Yeah.
But 4 kids and bills, no matter who you are, it's not
It's
easy.
tough.
So really just hustling, bro. Growing up, that's all I knew. Like that's
Yeah.
why like this chapter of my life and being an entrepreneur or being a barber is not as hard as it would be for other people that never had to step out and try to make some money, man.
Mm-hmm.
Try to make ends meet.
Yeah.
You know, so
So you were always basically like a hustler, trying to figure out a way to always make some money.
yeah,
You know
for
what I
sure.
mean? So like when was it in high school, bro? Was it right out of high school? When did it click in your head? Like, man, I'm gonna pick up the pair of clippers.
Man, so I got a best friend. His name's Kev, and we were just chopping it up last week of school, like last 2 weeks of school.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked me what am I gonna do, and I told him I have no clue. You know, I literally had no clue. And I asked him like, "What are you gonna do, bro?" And he told me he was gonna go to school in Lawrence and get his marketing and business degree or something like that, which he did. He went for 4 years and he got it. He got his bachelor's. And he just threw out the idea. He's like, bro, why don't you just be a barber? And I think he said it in the aspect of like just throwing it out there, playing around.
Yeah.
And it clicked. I was thinking to myself, bro, $20 a haircut. I do 5 a day. That's $100. I can grow from there.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to my school, and I'm gonna be honest. In school, I never paid attention to school, you know? I was cool with the teachers. I'm cool with everybody in there. But I never cared about the schoolwork. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes that would get down on me because I never had good grades. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't have
And you're talking about high school.
I'm talking about high school.
Mm-hmm.
I never had good grades. I had D's and C's and F's. Like I just wasn't focused in school. So and sometimes that would deter me from who I will become in the future. Because
Mm-hmm.
I used to think in my head if, you're not A's and B's in school, it's gonna be hard to do something in life.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. So I'm almost losing track.
No, so you went to high school and you were talking to your teachers.
Oh yeah, so I went to high school. I was talking to my teacher. I was talking to a pair. I don't know if you know what that is, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just a class helper basically.
Mm-hmm.
It was an older lady, and I told her I wanted to go to barber school. And that same day, she looked at the top 3 barber schools. Not unfortunately, I
Mm-hmm.
went to Old Town, so she reached out to Old Town, set me up, and that was that, bro.
Yeah.
I went home. I told my mom about it. We went to Old Town, did the FAFSA, and then ran from there.
Yeah. And how was barber college for you once you started going in there?
Man, barber college was different. Old Town, personally, it was like a ghetto high school.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, yeah. I went there too. I already know.
Yeah, it was like a ghetto high school, man. So I was used to the feeling of it, but it threw me off because I'm thinking like, this is what barbering is. Like, is this what it is? So barber school was cool, but it was hard because I didn't know anything. I never picked up a pair of clippers in my life. I never watched a YouTube video. I never indulged in any of those things. I just kind of I was gonna make it happen. One thing about me is like anything I do, I'm gonna make it happen because I
Mhm.
know I can make it happen. So like it's down to the point where the first day we finally get our clippers, they tell us to open the clippers.
Mhm.
I'm trying to figure out how to unscrew the clipper, but the whole time he's just talking about open the lever.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
they're thinking I'm being a class clown, and I'm like, bro, I don't know anything.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I'm literally starting from scratch.
Yeah. So when you were starting from scratch, bro, and you actually got your pair of clippers in school, bro, because I'm trying to put myself in your shoes.
Right.
And it's like, okay, so I got my pair of clippers now, and I see everybody else around me cutting, and I don't know shit about barbering. What did you start doing, bro? Did you start looking at the people around you? Did you hop on YouTube and check out some clips? Or what did you do to start figuring out how to cut?
So to be honest, so for a short period of time, there's 2 individuals named Luke and Diego.
Yes.
And they're cold, bro. Even in barber school, like they were just there to get the degree so they can go legally be in the shop.
Yeah.
So I watched them and I would just watch them over and over every day
Mhm.
to the point where I take pictures of their haircuts and I would post it and act like this was
Like
me.
it was
Like
you.
come get a haircut.
You was finessing
Yeah.
everybody.
No, for real. So I would watch them,
That's
but
funny.
really it was more trial and error than anything.
Mm.
I don't know why it never clicked in my head to just watch some YouTube videos or anything like that. It was just trial and error. And
Mhm.
unfortunately, with the trial and error, it took me probably about 2 years to really understand the concept.
Yeah.
I could have understood it a lot more if I just did the homework.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I didn't do the
Yeah.
homework.
So whenever you were doing the trial and error, bro, and this is for the barbers who are listening right now, was there any, like, I would say, like, would people frown upon you on your cuts when you were like first starting off?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And how did you take that? Because I know a lot of barbers right now are listening, bro, and that they're dealing with that same scrutiny, I would say,
Yeah.
of fucking up somebody's haircut,
Right.
while they're in school.
Honestly, it's like this, man. So growing up, I feel like I've always been the black sheep.
Mm.
I've always led the pack, even when I don't know where I'm leading it to. I've always just been just the oddball,
Mm-hmm.
So I never paid attention to failing necessarily, because I didn't really look at it like, yes, I'm failing, but every haircut I did, I was get better and better and better, slowly. So to be honest, I didn't pay attention to it, because the more I fed into it, the more I would get down on myself.
Yeah.
So I really try not to feed into it.
Try not to feed into it, because those guys, there's a lot of people in school right now, bro, and just barbers who I have met who lack confidence.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Do you feel like confidence is something that you did not lack going into school or just in general?
No, I'm not gonna say that. I definitely lacked a lot of confidence, because so I went to barber college in 2018. 2018, 2019, I think. And prior to that, being a barber wasn't how it is now, Being a barber now is like a fad almost. I think that's the correct word. And it's like real cool to be, So when I went to barber school, I was like the only white kid in there, and let alone I was a kid, There was a lot of grown folk in there, and I was out the loop. So the confidence wasn't there for me. Hint on why I would take pictures of other people's haircuts instead of my own haircuts.
Yeah.
So the confidence wasn't there. But over time, it definitely it developed. It developed.
The confidence slowly started coming after the practice.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I think that's what people really need to understand, bro, is there's only one way to get confidence, and that's reps.
Right.
Reps, failing, trying, like it all. You know what I mean? So coming out of barber college, bro, you were in school, you started picking it up, man. Can you talk to me about what your mindset was at that time when you were graduating school? Like, what were you thinking about graduating school? Like, man, I need to get in the shop. Man, I need to do this. Like, what was your mindset coming out of there? Because I know it wasn't the same as it was now.
Right. Honestly, my mindset getting out of school was trying to figure out what's next.
Yeah.
Like, what does this come with, So it was like the last 2 days that I was there, and I didn't have any shops. It was to the point I was gonna go to Great Clips, or I was gonna go to Sports Clips, because I'm so not aware of barbershops. I didn't know where to go. I was just gonna go where I could fit in or get in, really.
Yeah.
But this gentleman reached out to me. His name is A-Rod. He owned a barbershop called Fusions on the South Side.
Yeah.
And he told me, why don't you come? He was the only one to ever reach out to me. So I graduated. I went to that shop. I was there for 2 years prior to coming to Prime Time. And through those 2 years, I learned a lot about. Well, I mean, I just had a lot going on, I'm in barber school. I moved out on my own right when I started barber school, because I was doing whatever I had to do to get by. So honestly, I just had to figure out what was next, And I was surrounded by a lot of men that didn't really have a direction into where they wanted to go. And there's nothing wrong with that, but they were also. I was in a barbershop with older men that had a lot more life.
Yeah.
And wisdom in lanes that didn't pertain to being barbers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was almost in a shop where, like, it was a hobby more than a business. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So I had to figure that out. And that's kind of why I was always leading to see where was next, for me to land to grow myself.
And I'll never forget the day you came to talk to me, bro. Yeah. Like, that shit was... I'll never forget it, bro. And to this day, I still think about it sometimes, because you're so different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you came, and I think you had a little dog with you. You had a little dog on the leash when you came, bro.
Man.
You hopped off the whip, that little bully came out.
Yeah.
And you came, and you had a really hard accent at that time. And we chopped it up, bro. And I remember I was like, what are your hours? And you told me at that time, I think you were working Sunday, Mondays.
Yeah.
Like, man, you guys ain't open Sunday, Mondays. And at the time, I was like, we're open Mondays, but usually we're closed Sundays. But I'm not opposed to you working on Sundays.
Right.
So I think what made me gravitate towards you and hiring you was the fact that you were working Sunday and Mondays as well as the whole week. You know what I mean?
Right.
Looking back at it, I was like, man, Alec is actually he really grinds. He really works. And I know from experience, bro, success comes from people who are actually hard workers. You know what I mean? Not who are very talented, but I'm talking about the people who actually work hard.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I remember hiring you, and I never forget, bro. Like you used to always, I used to come to the shop to fill it up with waters or paper towels or whatever, man. And you were always there on Mondays. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And to this day, you still do the same thing, bro. You still got the little keychain hanging off of you.
Yeah, like a janitor.
Yeah, like
huh?
a janitor, man. You was wearing, but back then it was a lanyard.
Yeah.
And I was like, I mean, this kid's good, man. You know, but at the time, you were still figuring yourself out.
1,000%.
You know what I'm saying? You were still figuring yourself out. You were still young. How old were you when you started at prime time, you would say?
I would say 19 going on 20.
19 going on 20. You were still young, bro. I remember there was something about you that made you a little hard-headed when it came to like trying to figure out stuff about yourself. I mean, not yourself, but like how to get money. You know, at the time you were still trying to sell some dogs. You know, you were trying to
do everything
you were
but
trying to
what
do,
I was doing.
You were trying to do everything but barbering. And if
Yeah.
you remember, bro, me and Ivan used to be like, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Me and Ivan, when you wasn't around, me and Ivan to talk like, this motherfucker don't listen, bro.
Yeah.
Like he's literally can make all this money off cutting hair if he figured out how to raise his prices.
Right.
If he figured out how to just run it as a business. And at that time, Ivan was just now starting to pick up the whole mentorship. You know what I'm saying? And me and him would talk about it all the time. We were trying to figure out how to become better barbers, how to charge a little bit more, how to do all that stuff. And at the time, I was still working with you guys at the North location.
Right.
And some stuff happened with the dogs, man. It just didn't fall through. And you literally called me and was like, bro, fuck them dogs. You know what I'm saying? Like I need to focus on I need to focus for real on like what I have in front of me. Like I'm tripping.
You know what it
what I mean?
was? You know what it was though what it was I was trying to chase fast money.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't trying to build, longevity, man. I was chasing fast money for the longest. And I had a lot of things go on in those times, as we all do.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, so I would come in the shop, man, and I would see you in the corner. You got the podcast on. You know, you listen to a book. I go to Ivan, same thing. You know, sometimes y'all just had the headphones in just working.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of what clicked too for me, because I knew this couldn't be it for me, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, honestly, bro, when you say that, like I do remember being like across from Ivan on the other side of the shop. And I think at that time, me and him were working out and stuff, bro. And this was before Ivan blew up and like when he started the mentorship, like I said. And those podcasts that we were listening to, those books that we were listening to, honestly, Ivan recommended them to me, a lot of those books, because he was the one, they were recommending them to him from the mentorship. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we were listening, bro, and honestly, the stuff that we were spilling to you and everybody else was stuff that we were learning from those books, bro.
Right.
You know, trying to gain the knowledge and trying to figure out, man, how can we help these dudes out? You know what I mean? But a switch happened to you, bro. Like, do you remember when you were like, fuck it, I'm gonna start pursuing this shit on social media?
Man, when everything fell apart.
Yep.
When everything fell apart, man, I was in a relationship for a very long time. That went left. I was alone. I had like 30,000 in dogs. I lost all the dogs, lost all the money. I didn't have my barber license, man.
Yeah.
You know, I've been a barber it'll be 5 years in February. I didn't get my license till about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? And I would I had my temporary, right? But
man, tell them the situation, what happened.
well, the lady came in and told me if I don't get my stuff right, I can't cut.
Yeah.
You know? And I left the shop for a whole week. And when that happened, I was like, I can't do this, man.
Yeah.
I came way too far to go backwards. But you know what I realized when everything was falling apart is I never followed through, man. I never followed through with one thing to the max to see where I could take it. You know? And I think that's kind of what really flipped everything is I was almost, I don't know if I was like running from myself. I don't know if I was just distracted because I was young. You know what I mean? And I still am. I'm 23.
Yeah.
But nothing was set in stone. Everything, so like I was saying at the beginning, I moved so much, right? I moved houses. We had just a lot of things going on growing up. And I think my mind was almost still used to that lifestyle. So I was almost not knowing that this can be longevity, you know? I was so used to things going left fast that I wouldn't want to focus too much on one thing. You know, I want to make sure that I can get it in no matter what. That makes sense?
Yeah, you didn't want to put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. Because I always thought that would be the wrong thing to do until it happened.
Right. And then it's crazy how God works, right? Because
I tell you that though, I started talking to God a lot more too.
Yeah.
A lot more. I'm talking about like even back whenever like I first started cutting hair at Fusions, there was a time where I was messing everybody up, bro. Like let me say this too. I was messing everybody up to the point where I would give them their money back, you know? Or I wouldn't even take the money because it was not up to what I would accept, you know? You gotta walk around with my haircut on your head. Who did that? Alec. No, I didn't. I didn't do that one. You know, so when that happened, I was driving home one day and I swear I was tearing up. Like I was basically crying driving home, just talking to God like how do I like when will this click? Why can I not get these crispy fades out, man? Why is it not looking like everybody in the shop? And when I cried out to him and just talked to him, I remember going in the shop. I did a 2 on top and a mid-ball fade. Boy, that was the crispiest thing I've ever done. And I just kept doing the same method. And when I stuck to that, that's when everything flipped for me when it comes to haircuts and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just kept trying to do that.
But it started with the communication that you had with him.
With God, 1,000%. It started with talking to God and really trying to, you know, I would talk to God so much, but it's like I wanted the answer right then and there. But one thing God does, and I've realized it is, he may answer it through other people. He may answer it through time. It might take a week. It might take a month. But I think when I came to prime time is when I realized that part of it. When I realized that he speaks through other people, you know? Like you and Ivan. I've always said it from day one, like I look up to you guys more than ever. I used to reach out to you multiple times and I was being stubborn because you would tell me, hey, I got a spot at the north side. I got a spot on the north side. But I was trying to get away from that side of town, you know? And I was trying to go to the east side to the new location you opened.
I didn't have any chairs.
No, you didn't. And you kept telling me that. I'm thinking to myself, he just don't want me over there. But then I was like, you know what? It was enough of where I was at. Everything was slowly falling apart at that shop. So I was like, you know what? Let's just run it. But the whole time God was telling me, you need to be around. You need to be over here. You need to be with Nelson. You need to be with Ivan. You need to be with these people over here.
Yeah.
You know, and so whenever I did end up following through with it and going to y'all shop, that's when a lot of answers that I needed answered, it was there.
Yeah.
You know, because I didn't feel alone at that point. I think at the shop I was at, I don't know. In a room full of people, I felt alone. You know what I'm saying? And when I went over there with you guys, I think I didn't feel alone anymore because I was always trying to figure out myself. I just didn't know how. So when we started going to the gym, when you started really talking to me, I never had somebody talk to me and tell me, you know, what I needed to hear. I've almost had people tell me what I want to hear, you know, or what sounds good for them. And one thing I learned about you and Ivan is you guys, of course, you guys base y'all's opinions and y'all's conversation off of what you've been through, but you also try to see it from a bird's eye view. You know, you don't just scout down on one thing.
No.
You know?
No.
So that's when I realized, like, I don't know, I just started talking to God a lot more then.
Yeah. Honestly, bro, I'm glad you said that, bro, and I'm glad you feel that way about me and Ivan because we talked about it on the last podcast, bro. We've always tried to be the guys who we're not gonna talk shit on you or talk shit like or make fun of you or any of that.
Right.
If anything, we're gonna be like, man, we've been through so much that like we knew where you was at.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? We knew where you was at. That's why I would always say, like, I would even tell you, like, look, bro, this dog shit, you're gonna learn that you need to be in here and cutting this fucking heads.
Bro, that would make me so mad.
Yeah, bro, because you would think I didn't believe in you.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? You would think I didn't believe in you.
Yeah.
But if anything, from experience, I would know, like, I know what barbering can do for somebody. I know how it can change somebody's life because it changed mine.
1,000%.
You know what I'm saying? It changed mine. And I've seen it help so many people around me that I'm like, man, if a person just locks in and like really just tries to take care of their business and like be on time, clean their station and do what they got to do, bro, they're going to succeed. You know what I mean? And like, there's been so many people that have succeeded, you know, and you're one of them now. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like your price point was way lower than what it was now.
I
You know
think
what
I
I'm
came
saying?
in at what 25.
25,
I'm at 60 and 75,
60 and 75.
and I don't even think I get paid that.
Yeah.
Like 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. So, like, it's gonna continue to go up. You see, Ivan just hit 125.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How crazy is that?
How crazy is that?
I remember it, bro. I remember when I came in, Ivan was doing $40 haircuts and probably like what 10 a day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
I don't even think he took a lunch. Like every day, and that it was crazy, bro.
Yeah.
And that's when he was looking into the mentorship, you know, because he needed a change. And I'm gonna be honest, when I heard about the $100 haircuts, I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
But then I understood.
A lot of people didn't believe in it.
No, 100%. But I understood that time is money, man. It's not the money you make, because you can make all sorts of money, but it's the time that you're trying to buy
He
back.
created the value.
100%.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy is he was one of the first to really do that, bro.
Yeah.
In the industry of barbers.
Yeah.
You know?
And he's still in the same mentorship he's been in. When I don't know if a lot of them still are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
1,000.
You know, I just got off the phone with him right now. It's just people don't understand, bro. I mean, maybe they do understand, but they don't fucking see it. How hard you actually have to fucking work to be successful.
Yeah.
Ain't shit handed to you. I just got off the phone with him before I came here. It was like 6 o'clock, 6:30 on a fucking Tuesday. On a Tuesday, bro. He just got off of work. He charges $125 a haircut. He didn't eat lunch. And I'm like, what are you about to do, bro? He's like, I don't know, bro. I feel kind of sick. I haven't ate all day, or I feel like I'm getting sick. I'm like, what are you about to do then? He's like, I'm about to go hit the gym. If I feel good, I'm going to go hit the gym, and then I got to go home and edit some videos and hop on some calls.
Exactly.
Bro.
The grind don't stop.
Grind don't stop.
It don't stop.
You know what I'm saying?
I was just thinking that on the way here, because I just went and picked up a new couch, trying to put it together. And you know what I was thinking on the way here, because I was low-key a little overwhelmed. And I was thinking about you, and you told me, because I was thinking about when you bought your house, man. When you bought your house and you're trying to set up the house, and then you're setting up coffee days, and
I still have the shops.
Literally, at both shops.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking about you, and I was like, man, he told me it's never going to stop.
Yeah.
Because it's also in the book Relentless.
Yeah.
It says, don't look for the stopping point.
No.
Because even when you get to that point that you think you want to be at, it's not going to stop.
Nah.
You gotta understand and fall in love with what you do.
Yeah.
You know? So on the way here, of course, I was just thanking God. Instead of kind of getting in my head and getting overwhelmed, I was just thinking, I'm like, man, I'm about to go be on a podcast. I'm gonna be nervous. My cheeks gonna get red. But how much of a blessing is that?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
for a young man, 23, didn't know where I was gonna be, to go be on a podcast.
Yeah.
Nelson want to know about me.
Yeah.
He wants to put me on there.
Yeah.
Surreal, bro.
Yeah. It's crazy, bro, because that's why I wanted to bring you on.
Yeah.
Because you genuinely can't believe the position you're in. You know what I'm saying? So I want people to really hear that, bro. Like the positions that we got put in are really a blessing. With the problems, with the things that are going on in our life, with everything going on, bro, it's a blessing. You get what I'm saying? Like, all the things that we got going on, me with both locations, with barbers, with the coffee shop, with my kids, and you with everything you got going on. You have a son now, and all the things that are going on in our personal life. Like, bro, no matter what way we look at it, it's a blessing, because we're better than what we were last year. You get what I'm saying? And it's going to continue to happen.
I've noticed that every year since I graduated barber school, things have every year it tremendously changes for me in a good way.
In a good way.
There's a lot of stuff that comes.
Even through hard things, bro.
Yeah, because I learned when I started understanding that, I'm not failing. Life is not against me. God is not against me. I'm learning, man. I'm able, like you said, bro, I have a beautiful, handsome young man at the house right now, 5 months, Alize. And I'm blessed that God chose me to go through these trial and error, so that, raising him, he'll have an understanding. I didn't have a father growing up. I didn't have somebody to teach me the ropes. I didn't have somebody to teach me how to talk to a woman or how to even conduct myself as a young man.
Yeah.
I think that's also why God placed me in a position to be a barber, That's why I think that I don't look at this barber stuff as being a barber. Of course I am, but I don't know. I've always felt like I've always knew I was gonna be something, And yeah, I got some notoriety right now, and that's a huge blessing. But I haven't even scraped the surface of like what I'm set out to do. You
Mhm.
know what's crazy is when I became a barber, so many people would ask me, and it makes sense. What, like, why are you a barber? What do you want to do?
Mhm.
And I would tell them the same thing. I'm using this as a stepping stone to figure out what I want to do in life.
Mhm.
How crazy is that?
Yeah,
The
facts.
whole time the blessing was in my hands.
The whole time.
The whole time.
Mhm.
So I don't know, man. It was crazy.
It's crazy. And who gave you some clippers? Your first pair of clippers?
You know what's crazy too? I got hand-me-downs, you know?
Hella hand-me-downs.
I got Ivan put me on, but more importantly, you.
Yeah,
I still use the clippers you
I
gave
you
me.
the clippers, bro.
That it blessed me,
Me
man.
and Ivan used to be like, man, this motherfucker ain't never gonna pay me
Yeah,
back for my
huh.
clippers, bro.
Yeah.
He was supposed to pay me $60 for them things.
Yeah, huh? No, for real, for real, for real. But
me and Ivan were like, fuck it, bro, let him have it.
yeah,
You know what I'm
man.
saying? But it's crazy, bro. I think now that you're a father now and you have more responsibility outside of work, how has that been challenging for you now when it comes to the video editing, when it comes to the posting, when it comes to the consistency, and also the barbering? How has it been how has it been hard for you to handle that with your son, or have you adapted?
You know, so I've been posting for what's it, the 26th? I've been posting on TikTok for 7 months on the 15th of this month,
Mhm.
right? So my son is 5 months.
Mhm.
It was hard at first, but it was almost already so natural for me. You
Mm.
know, whenever so many people ask me like, "Do you edit your own videos?" and "How do you do this?" and "How do you do that?" Like, I do edit my own videos, and I'll be lying to you if I said it was easy.
Mhm.
It was definitely hard, cause you know, having a kid, like one thing we talk about, there's no handbook to this stuff, man.
Mm-mm.
There's no handbook how to open up a coffee shop, how to do 2 barber shops, how to raise kids, and there's no handbook. So becoming a young father, it was difficult. It was definitely difficult. Even to this day, there's things that I called you the other day, you know, because I just need to kind of
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, shine some light on what direction and how I should go about things. So I would be lying if I said it was easy, but I had to, you know, having a son, having a kid in general made me understand the value of time. You
Mm.
know, I understand that I do have to work hard. I understand that, you know, daddy might have to go work all night tonight or all day or whatever, but I had to, you know, find out whenever I spend time with somebody, I need to utilize that time I spend with them.
Mm.
You know, I have to actually, well,
Quality.
quality of the time, exactly. You know, I was talking to you about it, and you could spend 2 hours with somebody, be on your phone, be on a game, whatever, or you could spend 30 minutes of quality time, and that meant way more than 2 hours. You
Mhm.
know,
Mhm.
so yeah, it was definitely hard, man.
Mhm.
But I was so blessed because I saw my channel growing, but I was still trying to raise my son at the same time. And of
Mhm.
course, he's only 5 months.
Yeah.
But it was just a lot of juggling. Even
Mhm.
to this day, man, I'm not gonna sit here and say it was easy,
Mhm.
because I have so many things outside of that going on. You know,
Yeah.
with my family, with my grandmother, with my mom. Like I
Mhm.
had so many things go. My little brother. Like I had so many things go on that, like,
People don't know about.
nah, man, nah.
Yeah,
It was
people don't know.
but it was the devil trying to, you know, it was even having a kid. You
Mhm.
know, I never expected to have a kid.
Mhm.
You know, so soon. I was with my lady for, you know, a year and a half, bro,
Mhm.
and then we had a kid.
Mhm.
To me, I was frustrated because I was angry because I did, you know, as crazy as it sounds, I didn't want to be like my mom,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't want to have to, you know, I don't know, man. I just didn't want to. I didn't want a broken home.
Yeah,
I
facts.
grew up in a broken home,
Mhm.
but my mother. I know my mom's gonna watch this. My mom did everything she could. You know,
Mhm.
she's
Mhm.
she created who y'all see today. You know, that's
Mhm.
my mom.
Mhm.
But I didn't want to reciprocate that. You know, growing up, I always heard, you know, I don't want you to be like me. I want you to be better.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was falling into that trap until I understood that, you know, this is what God has planned.
Mhm.
God wanted me to have a kid. You
Yeah.
know, God, instead of me looking at it almost like it was a burden at one point,
Yeah.
you know, it was meant to be.
It set you straight.
It slowed me down. It made me realize the value of time. It made me realize to put my money in certain places. You know, it made me realize that a net worth is more important than what you have in the account.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
it was a lot of eye openers, man, because you know, one thing about me, as we all know, and you can tell right now, is I talk a lot. You
Mhm.
know, sometimes I just hold my son and talk to him. He don't
Yeah.
even know what I'm saying right now.
Yeah. He probably just be bombing his head like,
Yeah,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
and
dad.
he just listening, you know.
Yeah.
But it was dope, man. It's dope. I kind of reared off track, but man, yeah,
Nah,
it wasn't easy at all. But man, it was worth it.
nah, it's definitely worth it, bro. Because you wouldn't be where you are right now, bro, without him, without the troubles, without any of that.
Yeah.
And even for somebody like me, bro, like going through some trials and stuff like recently, you know, I have to remind myself, like, you got to stand firm in your faith and what you believe and who you are.
Yep.
Because you brought up the devil a second ago. He's going to tempt you, bro.
You want to know something crazy, man?
He's going to tempt you and be like, you really ain't who you think you are.
Nah.
You really ain't about that life. You really can't do what you want to do. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And those thoughts ain't from him. I mean, from God. You know what I'm saying?
And you want to know something crazy? I used to blame God, man. As unfortunate as that sounds, why me, God? You always doing this to me, man. La la la.
Play the victim.
Whole time it was the devil.
Yeah.
You know. I'm not gonna get real spiritual on here, but I was playing the victim. You know, I wasn't owning up to what I was messing up on.
Yes.
You know, I was blaming everything else around me.
Yes.
Except for the person I am. You know, so I speak a little different. I got a little bit of a different accent, right? And you know, I moved here, I moved on the outskirts of Derby, right? And one day, I've always been told I talk a certain way at school, or in general. And I asked my mom, like, why do these people think this, man? And she told me perception is reality, you know? And that's one thing I had to learn when it comes to all of this, is how I perceive myself is the reality that other people are going to take from it, you know?
Yeah. Does your mom read a lot?
Bro, she's writing a book right now.
But does she read a lot?
She reads,
She's been reading for a long time.
A long time.
So some of the stuff that she's probably told you, like perception is reality, she probably read that.
1,000.
Yeah, she probably didn't get taught that. And that's smart. That's good. Now I'm kind of starting to see why you are the way you are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She kind of poured into you, bro. And that's why that's why you move the way you move. You know what I mean? And that's, at the end of the day, bro, all we have to thank is our parents and people who raised us. You know what I'm saying? For me and my mom, you know, I'm kind of the same situation as you. My dad went to jail when I was 11. So we had to figure it out. You know what I mean? And that's kind of why I'm glad God put me in a position in barbering, so we can all figure this shit out together. You get what I'm saying? Like, this shit is, you don't want to be out here riding around by yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You want to figure it out with other people.
And you know, it's crazy you say that, because I feel like a lot of people, I think their downfall is the fact that they can do it. I think their downfall is the fact that they think they can do it by themselves.
Yeah.
You know, even to this date, I had to understand that it takes a team to get where you want to be. And if I was to make it by myself, who can I fall on?
Yep.
So I agree with you, man.
A team, or just relationships in general. You want to have them. You want to have them. You don't need to have hella of them, but you want to have some good relationships. That way you can have these type of conversations. You know what I'm saying? And you just don't know what's going to come from those conversations and those people you know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But back to the barbering, bro. You were literally just posting every day. You start blowing up. That's why I have you on this pod now.
Right.
And people see the consistency of the haircuts and the consultations.
Right.
You know what I mean? But why do you think people gravitated towards you outside of the consistency?
Just with who I am. Like I said, I don't value people on their success. I value them on who they are. You know, just because you got $1 million don't mean much. You know, just because you got 1 million followers don't mean much. Especially in today's society, you know, I think people get in their head about that. But I think the reason I got where I am now is because I'm me, and that's all I know how to be. Yeah. And I'm steadily figuring out who I am. Yep. You know, I don't think you ever really know exactly who you are, because
you keep changing.
Huh?
You keep changing.
Yeah. I mean, certain situations, you know, cause you to change. Yeah. And not for the worse, but for the better.
For the better.
You gotta adapt to the situation, understand the situation, and yeah. Man.
Yeah, I see what happens. So one thing that I don't want to overlook in this conversation is work ethic. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Work ethic. Don't break the mic, man. Yeah. Anyways, work ethic, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who do you feel you got that work ethic from? Who'd you see growing up working like that, bro?
My mama.
Your mom?
You know, this is also why I tell anybody that sits in my chair, work for yourself, man. It's okay to work for a corporate job, I understand, but there's two type of people, man. There's the people that need security, and there's people that make their own security. In
Yeah.
my eyes, people get a corporate job because they know they get insurance. They know that they get that every 2 week check.
Yeah.
They got bills to pay. I don't. My mom, when we moved up here, she worked for the place called Cessna or Beach Aircraft or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And she was a janitor. She was the manager of the janitors.
Mm-hmm.
From what I'm almost positive. And in that 5 years, she became the manager of the managers. She finally got to the top. And I remember nights where, it's raining outside and she got to go in and she got to mop and clean everything. I'm talking about 2 a.m. Like she wake me up and she got to go up there. She's crying. She's mad. She's frustrated. But with that being said, she got to like year five. This was about 2 years ago. And she got all the way to, I think, to like 100K financially, as far as, yearly income. And they let her go with a 1 day notice.
Yeah.
And that's when it really, really clicked for me is I'm not doing that. I'm not going to work for another man or another lady. I'm going to work for myself because it's hard. Listen, bro, it's hard being broke, but it's hard getting rich. You know what I'm saying? It's hard making it no matter what. Either way, it's hard, but you got to pick your heart. I'm not going to fail myself. And I realized that through business, So my mom, man, to answer your question, is my mom. My mom worked so hard. I think what hit me is my mom has worked so hard, but never had nothing to show for it. 'Cause she had 4 kids, We never bought a house.
I mean, she gave it all to you guys.
Exactly. And that's what she had to show for. But when I say show for is in, nothing for herself. It was never for herself. It was for everybody else. The other day at the gym, I asked you a question and I said, it's like, why me, bro? Out of all people. And you said that I don't use the word I. I look at us as a team, and as in prime time. I'm always trying to help us. I'm not looking at I. And that's one thing she did. She would be real selfless, I believe is the word, is she wouldn't worry about her. And she's going through it.
Yeah.
But she always made sure we were okay. So I get it from my mom, man.
Getting it from your mom.
1,000.
1,000 for sure. You say the word we a lot. You know what I'm saying? When you brought up that conversation the other day, you say the word we, team. You don't say I, us. And that's very important when it comes to leadership in a team. You know what I'm saying? Anytime I got any recognition on how good Primetime was doing, it was never me.
Yeah.
It was always the team. You know what I mean? To this day, it's still the team. You know what I'm saying? It's not me. It's everybody. You know what I mean? And that's what's very important, bro. So your work ethic, you got it from your mom. Everything that has been transpiring in your life, bro, going uphill is because things are going well for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And now you have your son. Now you got all these things going on in life in a good way, bro.
Right.
But it's challenging because it's more work. You know what I mean? What are some things you're trying to improve in yourself to continue to elevate?
It's crazy. It sounds everything, man.
Everything.
Showing up to the gym 5:30 in the morning like we do.
Facts.
Who wants to do that?
Nobody.
Reading, trying to work on my how I speak. My spiritual guidance and speaking to God. I mean everything, bro.
Yeah.
Everything I'm constantly trying to work
Yeah.
at. I don't think I'll ever be fulfilled in the aspect of like, okay, I'm good here. It's just not me.
Do you feel like you value working on yourself more now because of the success you've been blessed with?
I would say yes. I would say yes because, like I said at the beginning, man, I always knew I would be somebody. I mean, I got YouTube videos from 10 years ago. I just never understood who I could be. And I think when it hit me when people were asking me for help,
Yeah.
I was always the one kind of asking questions. Like, I think I asked you and Ivan a million questions, bro.
Yeah.
I used to ask a million questions. And when people started asking me questions, I realized that I can't teach somebody if I don't know my damn self.
Yeah.
Whether it's, work, whether it's barbering, whether it's family, I can't teach you if I don't keep teaching my own self.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I would say the success definitely played a part, but I never wanted to be ignorant. My mom used to call my little brother dad ignorant all the time, and I would ask her, like, why are you always calling him that? I thought it was like a cuss word or something, but ignorance is just lack of knowledge. You know, it's basically the nice way of her breaking it down to me. So I didn't want to be ignorant to people, man. I wanted to come, um, not with an idea, but with a plan.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
so
That way they can trust you with what you're saying.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
I can't listen to somebody that's not doing what I'm doing.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. And then that way there's a mutual respect that happens in the conversation now because both of you guys know where you stand.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like this motherfucker is talking the truth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there is a lot of things that we're talking about right now that are going to resonate with a lot of people who are listening. You know
Right.
what I mean? For the young barbers coming up, bro, because that's what we are.
Right.
Young entrepreneurs, young barbers, young business owners, young everything. What advice are you going to give them? Because I know you're still figuring yourself out.
Yeah.
But what's when I say advice, what comes to your mind first? Like, man, what can I tell them?
Man, the first thing that comes to my mind is, you know, everybody asks me, how do I do this? How do I do that? And I start with the simple question of like, what have you started?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, what have you started doing?
Mm-hmm.
You know, do you post? Do you work on yourself? And simply, you know, the first thing that came to my mind when you said that is go to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've learned a lot going to the gym, man. You know, I got man boobs. Well, at least I think I do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And bro, going to the gym has opened my mind up to just working on myself, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. I know we're talking about barbering and things like that, but just I feel like in order to prosper in anything, you have to work on you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like I said, man, I can make all the money in the world, but if I don't have any spiritual guidance, if I don't have the love, simply love from my family, if I don't have, you know, the confidence within myself,
Discipline.
the discipline, I don't think I can get really much anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's crazy because it starts with the basics, man. I tell them all the time, like it's the basics.
Yeah.
I think we try to skip so many steps instead of understanding that 1% is better than nothing. You know, there's 365 days in a year. You do 1% a day, you surpassed 100%.
Yeah.
But it's hard to stay on that same road when it comes to 1%. Because sometimes you want to get so many things done that you don't. How many times have you wanted to get so many things done, but you didn't get shit done?
Because you were procrastinating because you had too many things to do.
You know what I mean? You didn't know where to start instead of just doing one thing. You know, I'm going to go in the shop. I'm going to sweep all day today. Anytime I got free time, I'm just sweep.
Yeah.
You know, something simple as that.
Yeah. And it happens to this day.
Yeah.
Like the busier you get, the more you have to, like, all right, man, I can't do all this shit today. I got to do this today and then focus on that tomorrow.
Right.
And then you start planning your schedule.
I'll tell you another thing too, is the now is not forever. I had to get that out of my mind. What I mean by that is, you know, going to the shop, working even to this day. Like you say, you see me on the camera, I'm always in there. Going to the shop and working from, you know, 8 or 9 to 6, 9 to 5. Going home, taking care of my son, letting my lady have her time. This now is not forever, but I have to cherish the now in order to understand what's to come.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
To value it.
To value it. So when I mean why I say the now is not forever is because sometimes I think people give up because they think that grinding point, the beginning grinding point, which is the hardest, because now it's like going and running a mile.
They think it's gonna be forever.
They think this is what the game is forever. But man, it's like how I look at it is you're pushing this big ass this rock up the hill, and as soon as you get it to the top of the hill, all you gotta do is let go.
Mm-hmm.
Because by the time you get it to the top of the hill, you got plans. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you got your daily things you need to know. You got your things you need that you know you gotta do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, wake up, go to the gym. After that, go home, do what you gotta do at the house. From there, go to work. Come back, do what you have to do at the house. Do your mentorship. Cause I'm in my mentorship as well. Take care of your son, cook, and then repeat. You know, go to sleep, repeat.
Yeah.
But over time, just understanding that.
Let me ask you this, bro. You are in the mentorship. I'm in the mentorship too, man.
Right.
How do you feel about Bazio?
I think he changed the game, man.
Mm-hmm.
He changed the game because Bazio reminds me a lot of you and Ivan, man. What I mean by that is it's about business, bro. It's business, you know, and you can't get anywhere if you don't understand the simple things of business. You know, when you're in the shop, write down everything you made today. Okay, this person paid me $43. This person paid me $75. Write all that down. Go home, put it in your books. Work on your credit. Put your money into a Roth IRA. He just showed me when I got into that mentorship, it was unreal the information that we got for the price that I paid.
Yeah.
You know? And I feel like certain other mentorships, they work for certain people, but I felt like they were basing a dollar amount for success, you know? And I couldn't understand that. I never understood how can I make more money if I don't know what to do with what I got now.
Yeah.
You know? So to answer your question, man, it changed everything, bro.
Yeah.
It made it like when I found the Bazio mentorship, it's like the lock.
Yep.
I was like, okay, cool. It locked in. And then from there, it took off.
It took off. Man, see, I entered the mentorship and I learned a lot of knowledge from him. I'm a little older than probably a lot of people that were in that mentorship. I'm not
you
the
about
oldest.
45 years old.
You crazy. I'm 32. But it was cool to see how he conducts himself with all the younger generation barbers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was able to take away a lot of things that he does and implement it with like how I communicate with you or how I communicate with Diego.
Right.
Or anybody who needs some help, Cedra, you know, when it comes to financial decisions that we need to make as we grow up. You know, stuff that took me years to figure out that you guys can figure it out just by listening to this guy. Right. You know what I mean? So we're blessed in the barber game with all the, I would say, mentorships, with all the videos, with all the knowledge, with all of everything, bro. But one thing we need to remember is that not drown in it. You know, focus on one thing at a time, and step by step, and slowly but surely, where you want to get, you will get. You know what I'm saying? So to finish off the podcast, bro, whenever it's a question I ask for everybody, bro, but I kind of switch it up. I want to switch up the question a little bit, bro, because this is Thanksgiving week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So finishing off this year, man, when I say thankful, what would you say you are thankful for?
Man, you know, I'm thankful for God opening my eyes to understand a bigger purpose to life. I'm thankful for my family, my son, my mom, my lady. I'm thankful for the guidance that I have of you. I feel like if I would have never came to Primetime, as crazy as it sounds, you know I say I'm gonna make a way, but if I would have never came to Primetime, I don't know where I'd be right now, man. I look at you and Ivan as a father figure, you know, because I didn't grow up with that, and I'm thankful for that, man. I'm thankful to not feel alone, you know. I'm thankful to know that, like, when I come to you with questions, man, like it's just the way you talk to me, you tell me what it is, man, and I'm thankful for that. Man, I'm thankful for everything. Like, I couldn't even pinpoint. I'm so blessed. Like I said, bro, this stuff is surreal to me. You know, for you to sit across me and talk to me. I came into Primetime at the lowest, bro. I was scared. I didn't do all the paint. We don't even do paint no more. I don't do the enhancements. I wasn't the best at cutting. And, you know, humbly, I feel like I'm at the top, you know? In my eyes, I feel like I've been able to get to a point where I can teach everybody in the shop now, you know? I can teach everybody in the shop much more than just the media part.
Yeah.
You know, I could tell them things that I didn't even know my damn self at one point.
Yeah.
You know? But I'm thankful for, man, I can't thank God enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's crazy to say that this is just the beginning.
Just the beginning.
We, like this podcast.
Yeah.
You know, you just started it.
Yeah, I just started it.
Man, I can't be more thankful.
No, for sure, bro. And honestly, bro, I'm glad you told me that. I'm glad you told me that because people like me need to hear that type of stuff. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, not only me, but everybody around me, people that you look up to, make sure you tell them, bro. You know what I'm saying? I tell everybody who I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for everything. You know what I mean? Because we need to think that way. Because what'd you say before you got here, bro? You were stressed.
Yeah.
And everything. But now you just expressed how you feel and how thankful you are. And I guarantee you feel better.
1,000%.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we really need to evaluate our lives and be thankful for what we have and enjoy the moment. Because the problems are always going to be there. The stress is always going to be there. The hard times are always going to be there. But that goes away when you're thankful for what you have. You know, and that's why Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays. Because you really get to when you really sit back and think about it, man, we're blessed.
More than blessed.
More than blessed. You know what I mean? This was a great podcast, and I really think everybody's gonna enjoy it and like it and relate. You know what I mean? And like you said, bro, hopefully this inspires somebody to continue to do what they gotta do. 100%. You know, at the end of the day, that's what we do it for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm thankful for you, bro, and I'm thankful for you coming on the podcast.
Thank you,
and
man.
I'm sure this ain't gonna be the last one.
No, I feel like it's been about an hour, and it felt like 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
I feel like I'm ready to go for another 2-3 hours.
Another
man.
2-3 hours.
Yeah.
We'll have another one on next time. We'll bring on Ivan.
Yeah,
and so we can all three rap.
Yeah, I think we need to do that a lot more often.
Yeah, he comes into town a couple weeks. Maybe we can knock it out.
Yeah, 100%.
Let's do it. That was a good one, bro. For sure. What was the time?
It's good. Like right at an hour, just under, I think.
Bro, that was the fastest hour of my life.
That was cool.
It was definitely different, man.
It was good.
That shit was different, bro.
It was good. That's why I told you I enjoy podcasts. It's fun.
Look,
I'm going